Just because I'm the proud owner of a new commode.
Okay, here we are. We're live, and this is Wednesday evening, May 7th, Team Certainty and Power Network coaching hour for the 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Time period. I have with me Mr. Gary Smith and Mr. Iron Dane Richards. How you doing, fellas?
Good. How you doing, folks?
Good. Welcome, viewers. This is, again, the Team Certainty and Power Network Wednesday night session for potential new members to join, as well as some ongoing members. I'd like to welcome you into this hour-long Google Hangout tonight. We do these Google Hangouts twice a week. We do them this time period from Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 Central Time, this time period, and then Saturday mornings from 11 to 11:30 a.m., which is a question and answer period. And the support ticket on the side of your broadcast page you're watching this on. If you're watching this on the broadcast page, click that support tab. Send in a question you might have from one of the team members here, anything about Team Certainty, anything about Power Network support. We'll answer it for you, then also get it in, if it's appropriate, for the questions and answer sessions on Saturday mornings, which have been quite entertaining the last few Saturdays. We limited to about a half an hour, but we've gone off topic a few times. There's just so much going on right now with the Power Network, and some other things that we've had to discuss. Because all the questions are about that. So we wind up talking a lot about what's going on in the future and everything. And this weekend is going to be the exact same, because I've already seen some of the questions coming in. But while we're on that topic, I guess David Wood, I think, is finally, David Wood, the management of Empower Network, and this is just my opinion or perspective, is finally seeing some things that she should have seen 6 months ago, and they're making some of the appropriate changes. We'll talk about that later on as we get into the session tonight, because the topic for tonight and the viewers is overcoming adversity and your commitment to succeed. And all of us have some stories about that we'll share with you tonight, in our lives and our internet marketing careers as well. But before we get started too much tonight, in depth tonight, I'd like to wait a few more minutes and let people gather and get on here. And a shout out to our international contingency, because we have a lot of people watching on this team from International Marketplace. And if you're watching this on a broadcast page, one of our YouTube channels, or listening to this on one of the radio broadcast stations on the internet we broadcast on, thank you for taking the time this evening, and we'll guarantee we'll give you an hour's worth of good content tonight. We also have a little video we'll be watching here, and coming up. So current events as we let people get settled tonight. Fellas, anything special going on in your neck of the woods?
No, not really. Just worried about that Ukraine situation still. I just got some messages from over there. A couple of them in Odessa are even saying, like, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen next.
I got a good friend. I've got a good friend that's in Odessa right now, and I talk to him on Skype almost every day. And he, about a week ago, he said nothing. It's nonsense. He's been out at the pool and just lounging.
Yeah.
Odessa's a resort town for the most part,
Oh yeah, it's right on the sea. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to go. And so is Sevastopol over there. Yeah.
And he just recently, in the last 40 hours, said, I gotta get the hell out of here. He says it's getting nasty. It's getting nasty. Gunfire, everything outside his apartment. He goes, I gotta get the hell out of here, man. And
they're talking.
And this guy's been in a few scrapes before, so I know he travels internationally all the time. So, and he's been in Ukraine for almost a year.
Yeah.
Women-wise, he's one of these guys that just finds a gal and latches on. And he's got some gal in Ukraine that kept him there.
Yeah. So, there's a good reason why.
Price to pay. Price to pay. Anyway. How about, did you see that article on Drudge Report about Monica Lewinsky?
Yeah.
The headline, it's funny, the headline was, "My life sucks."
Yeah.
Isn't that a riot?
No, that looked like
What, did a cigar store go out of business?
when I
Yeah,
saw that, I didn't even
highlights
read it.
stuff.
Talk about beat a dead horse.
Yeah. Guess there's not much to talk about in the world, or market right now. So, she,
Yeah.
rises to the occasion, I guess. Anyway.
Well, you got to feel bad for a girl that's used as an ashtray.
Yeah. You guys, let's go ahead and get this thing moving here because this hour is going to go by real fast. I'm afraid.
Oh yeah.
All the things we got to talk about, but let's go ahead and launch, into this. And does anybody have any comments on Empower Network? What's going on in Empower Network? Some of the issues that they're having. Anything?
Okay.
Gary, your thoughts?
I don't really have anything.
Okay. All right. Hey, Richard, anything? We're not going to watch anything yet, Richard. Let's hold off let's hold off on that video until later. We'll talk about that. We'll get that moving in a little bit. But with all the the changes, or I say changes, all of the drama, it's probably more appropriate. Going on in Empower Network right now. Any comments or thoughts?
Well,
I think
go ahead.
No, I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna move in the right direction here. I think that they're just going through. They've gone through a change and a different kind of growth period now. And if everything's as they say, if they're going to go back to the roots of and the essence of the beginning of it, then it seems like they've learned some lessons and they're going to make some accountability for what's happened, and then they're going to make some changes to move forward in the future. I think it's a good thing then.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Gary. I want you to comment, then I'll jump in and say something.
It breaks my heart to see what happened, that it even happened at all. Because, you had two brilliant people in David Sharp and David Wood put together an absolute monster that they had no idea was going to be this big and powerful. And the only trouble that really came out of this is inexperience running something that got as big as it got, as fast as it got. And that's it, period. There's no excuse for some of the stuff that happened outside of just inexperience. And in trying to run something that got this powerful so fast, I think it was overwhelming, and they just didn't know what to do and what direction to go, and that's all it is, Is it going to take Empower Network down? Hell no, because it's too big, it's too powerful, and in David Wood, it means too much to him. And what they've structured with a CEO and everything, it's pretty much, thank God they did that, because it is indestructible with that element in place and pretty much a board and all this stuff that makes decisions. What we need to, have happen is some of the higher ups not say stuff until they check with everybody else. Don't be throwing comments off the cuff, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I take a little bit more direct approach, I guess, if you will. In my travels, these guys are not experienced managers, and they're not experienced leaders either. I think both David Wood and David Sharp, especially David Sharp, really found his calling, and it's a shame that he had to leave, the way he did. But he did the right thing by leaving, taking care of his health and his family. It was the right decision. I think we can all agree with that. It's just a shame, after he had, pretty much, we watched him grow and materialize into the leader that he is, right in front of us, from a shadow of what he was when he got started with Empower Network to where he actually ended up. The thing though is that when you're guys like these guys, Wood and Sharp, especially Wood, you know, and you get into something like this, and you know, it takes off like wildfire, like you never expected. You know, you run into this phenomenon where, you know, you don't think you can make a wrong decision. And the reason why you don't think you can make a wrong decision is because all your previous decisions just worked out.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, I can't make a wrong decision.
Yeah.
You know, so they decided to change the blog, get away from the WordPress multi-deal, which was a mistake. They decided to do a launch the way that was some crazy skidded. They got scammed by some Hollywood nonsense idiot, you know, that said you should do it this way and put on these uniforms and act like idiots and, you know, whatever. And spent probably $500,000 to $750,000 just on the production of that launch, just on the video production launch. And my guess is they spent $750,000 just on the video production of that deal, which completely flopped. And you know, they thought they were going to bring on 100,000 members in a week's time, and the whole launch didn't even bring on 15,000 members. So, you know, when you start making you go from making 100% accurate decisions to 100% wrong decisions, and this is what it leads you to. It leads you to a scenario where, you know, and David Wood, in this conversation he had with all the affiliates, this phone call he had with all the affiliates this last week. By the way, it's in your back office right now. You can listen to it, the recording of it. He basically said, you know, nobody knows what to do now. You know, a year ago, people would say, are you in or not? Are you all in or not all in? And people would now say, are you all in? And say, well, gosh, I don't know. I was 6 months ago, but all these new products out here, I don't know if I'm in, if I'm out, if I'm what, you know. And, you know, what do you do when you bring a new member on? Well, back a year ago, you would say you get all in, you know, and then you do your blog, and you follow the 8 core commitments. That's what you do. Now, when people get in, say, what do you do? What do you do when you get in? Say, well, I don't know. You know, traffic system, leads. There was a capture page, some funnel this, whatever. You know, and you know, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So all that's going to change, and he's going to go back to the basics, which is what he should do, and Empower Network should do. So you're going to see, you know, they're not doing these regionals anymore. That's out. This is the last one they're going to do. They're going to go to the quarterly, big one every quarter. You know, which I think is a good decision. I think that's a real good decision.
I do too. Those regionals just got stupid. That's way too much traveling.
Well, it's not only that, but it's given mixed signals is the problem. You know, saying you're not important enough, we're not worried about you. We don't, you know, but and so much happens at these larger events anyway. So, you know, and then okay, David Sharp leaving the turmoil with that, and then all this big Treehouse drama. You know, and you know that I don't think was handled very well. You know, I think the fallout of it has been okay. You know, but I don't think it was handled, you know, well. And the only reason why I think that big Treehouse thing is going to go away is pretty quickly and just be swept under the rug and no one's going to talk about it anymore, is because of David Wood going back to the basics. You know, because that's what is going to be out on the forefront. You know, that is the news. That is going to be the news. You know, this all-in phrase is going to come back to, and be center stage. You know, and you know, and you know, I'm sure the 200 affiliate contest will be the only contest for affiliates anymore. You know, that's the way they should do it. Anyway, it's kind of interesting because, you know, we didn't time it like this, but you know, overcoming adversity, which is the topic for tonight, you know, kind of has a lot to say with what's going on with Empower Network, and you know, having the powers that be, so to speak, you know, overcome, you know, adversity, you know, is instrumental in the success, you know, obviously of the company. Now I'll close with this, and then we'll get on to the rest of this hangout, and that is that, you know, one of the things that, you know, that Wood, you know, did bring up was how how well certain things do happen there at the company. And there's one thing, and there's a few other people that brought this up. Now, David Wood didn't really actually say it. It really pretty much came from other people, and Big Treehouse was one of them. He wasn't on the call Monday night. We probably won't ever see Big Treehouse again. In fact, if they have their way, I think they'll wipe him off of this completely, like he never existed, at least until he gets his stuff straight. He's got some major problems in South Dakota, and it all stems from not having a good lawyer. If he had a good lawyer, this would be nonsense. This would be a parking ticket, if he had good lawyers. But I'll tell you this: the reason why it's a big deal is because he's got a lot of money, and I guarantee you that's what they're going after, all his money. So this is a money grab from day one, And as soon as he consents and gets, says, what is it going to take? $5 million to get this to go away? It'll go away. But he'll learn that. He doesn't know this yet, in my opinion. But he will by the time this thing's over. Realize if he didn't have any money, it wouldn't be bugging him at all. It'd be a non-issue.
Who is it that's going after him? South Dakota?
Yeah, it's a South Dakota FCC. I think it's a state though. It's the state regulators, and they'll bring in the feds, I'm sure. They don't have anything else better to do in that state, so they'll bring in the feds. It'll be a federal deal, And they actually arrested him. They actually, handcuffed him and brought him down and arrested him. So I don't know. They wouldn't do that in a criminal deal. I mean, in a civil deal. They would only do it in a criminal. So he violated something and they're charging him with some criminal offense, and it's not a civil offense. And so, he's looking at jail, and he probably won't get it, because this case will drag on for a year and a half. He'll pay $1 million fine, $500,000 fine, at the end of it, and then he'll get 3 years probation or something. If he's smart, he goes straight to the prosecutor and says, what kind of deal can I cut today? And I don't care if I'm guilty or innocent. That's not important. All I want is what it's going to cut, what is it going to take today, and how much is the check? What's the size of the check you want? And I'll see if I can
just cut the losses.
Be done with it.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. I mean, you're not going to win. Because one of the things that the government has is that you might be able to beat the rap. You might go to trial and beat the rap, but he ain't going to beat the ride. That ride's going to kill you. And that's one thing. That when you got to sue somebody, you say, look, you may win the lawsuit, but I'm going to take you for the ride, and that ride's going to kill you. It's going to ruin your business. It's going to ruin your reputation. At the end of the day, when all this stuff comes out in the open, and you may even still win it all, but it's going to be you're going to be devastated at the end of this. That's what the government. If the government's not saying it, hopefully his lawyers are saying that to him, which I doubt. I don't even think he's got a lawyer. If he does, he's a jackass. His lawyer, that is. But it's part of the problem with all of this, and I think Empower's pissed off because had he gotten good counsel or had good counsel, this never would have been an issue. And Empower, hooked up with, and I don't really particularly like that lawyer group that Empower's with, but I can tell you one thing I do like about them is that they are effective. And, and that's one thing that Dave Wood has to learn. And that is, you need to pay for good lawyers. But the bottom line is this, and a lot of people don't understand this, and this is what I tell my lawyers. I'm paying for your advice, but that doesn't mean I have to take it.
Good point.
And it's just like a doctor. It's just like a doctor. You can get second opinions. Every lawyer can't interpret the law the right way. And there's lawyers that do deals. There's lawyers that blow up deals. There's lawyers that are effective. And then there's lawyers that are only out for themselves, which most of them are. And so forth. But one of the things, the point I'm trying to make with all this and saying all of this is that there's one common denominator in successful organizations that Empower Network has and can never be taken away. And that's the intent of the leadership. It's the same at Apple as it was when Jobs was there. And that same effect is with Empower Network. You can change the products. You can even interchange some of the leaders. The David Sharps, the Aaron Raskins, the Tony Rush, the Tracy Walkers, Lawrence Tams. You can interchange all those people. But you can't interchange, the intent of the and direction of the ownership. Or what is the guiding light behind the organization. As long as Wood is there, he's at the right place at the right time in his life. And we, as affiliates, are the beneficiaries of that. But had it been, let's say, Big Street House started this deal, can you imagine what Empower Network would be right now if Big Street House was the leader? And I kind of like Big Street House. But can you imagine where this company would be if Big Street House was the leader and there was no David Sharp or David Wood? He just had bad lawyers and he got caught up with all this bullshit at this time. And how do you think all of us would be affected as affiliates? Because it's very doubtful the company would survive. But because
I think that's a question that's on everybody's mind that's watching this too, Mike. Okay, if I go into Empower Network and I'm widely successful and I'm the #1 salesperson like Vic Strickhouse, am I going to be arrested?
Well, honestly, I mean, with all due respect, you're a very bright guy and a very seasoned, business person, but that's an ignorant type of question to ask.
Right.
Because
I'm not asking that for myself. I'm asking that for a new viewer that doesn't know anything about business.
Well, yeah, but come on, man. Why would somebody be arrested if they're, if they jump, don't you think there'd be about 150 or 200,000 people before them that get arrested? Yeah. No one's getting arrested. Vic Streethouse, his issue, surfaced from 2008 in the previous deal. Now, if you come into Empower Network and you rip somebody off or you did something wrong or you got in trouble and the government slapped your hand and said, listen, don't do that anymore, and you continue to do it like Vic Streethouse did, and then you join Empower Network and you do very well in Empower Network, are you going to be arrested? Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. See, that was kind of the answer I was looking for too, Mike, because he kind of came to Empower with skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, very much so. But it should have been Empower Network's duty and role, to review that, research that.
Uh-huh.
You can't get into bed with somebody, and Empower Network, is, and I'm sure they learned a big lesson with this. But Empower Network, it's part of what David Wood has said, and part of going back to the simple things in the start, and that is we want you to be who you want to be. Now, we're not going to tell you how to act. We're not going to tell you you can't do this or you can't do that. If you want to promote another deal, that's fine. Just don't do it on the Empower Network, platform. I mean, on the Empower Network dime. You're going to promote it on Empower Network platform, on your platform, in your blog. That's perfectly fine. You can promote whatever you want to, but don't cross promote and try and bring somebody else's downline or your downline into some MCI program or Sprint or whatever else thing that's out there. If you want to do your own product, I mean, look, Chris Record is putting out some really, really good products, making good money. He's using Empower Network platform to promote, his products. That's why you haven't seen him up on the stage lately. Because Empower Network's upper echelon says if you're only devoted to one source, like Empower Network, like Tony Rush is, then Tony Rush gets the mic all the time.
Uh-huh.
And look, you may agree or disagree with that. There's some guys that are, I think, I don't think Tony Rush is the most dynamic person in the world. I personally like him. I think he's very good. I think some of his unpolished things are great. I mean, his delivery, I think, is good. He's got a great tone. Are there people better than him? Absolutely. But if they're promoting more than one thing, if they're promoting more than something beyond Empower Network, chances are they're not going to get on the stage. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'd much rather have it that way. You know, we used to always say, well, let's get on stage, you know, this and that. You know, my advice is these guys that are on stage saying, shit, man, you know, I'm going to bust my ass this weekend at this New Orleans event. Because I got to be up on the stage, you know, for 2 or 3 hours, you know, times. You know, my deal, I don't want to get up on that damn stage forever. I'm not getting on that stage for shit. You know, but that's just me. You know, that's my preference. Now, I know there's other people on this hangout that have different perspective. But my perspective is, you know, I'm applauding you and I'm your biggest backer. You know, but let's go ahead and move on. You know, what I'm trying to make here in all of this is that, you know, one thing that you never take away from Empower Network, and one guiding light and Empower Network, you should always, you know, put your arms around and understand that. And David was pretty good about this, saying you can let people go because they'll come back. Well, they'll come back all the time. Lawrence Tam is one of them. You know, they come back because of the direction and how you're treated as an affiliate. You know, I only have one thing that I wish that they would do, and that's get rid of this compliance department. And you know, from an internal perspective, they can call it a compliance department. When you're in your corporate board meetings and everything else, you can call it a compliance department. But I would, if I was David Wood, I'd say we no longer have a compliance department. Now, from a regulation standpoint, when you're talking to the regulators and lawyers and everything else, yeah, you can use the term compliance. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. But amongst affiliates, there's no such thing as a compliance department anymore. I would call it the timeout group or something timeout. Like when you get in trouble, go with your timeout. You know, yeah, you know, rephrase it. Use different words. Make it. Don't make it so technical and so uniform. Compliance is like Nazi. It's like stockbroker. It's like Wall Street. It's like you're trying to conform, you know, to be just like everybody else. And the problem with it is the people that are in the compliance department feel the same way, and the compliance department feels as though they are stronger, more powerful, and carry more weight than the owners, and that's completely wrong. You know, the compliance people should be, in my opinion, you know, it's an area that has to be there, you know, but I won't go to say call it grunt work, but I would say it's a self-policing, you know, organization is what it should be, and instead of I'll give a good example of this, of what I believe a compliance department should be. It should be transparent for one, and most of them aren't. You know, and I got a parking ticket out front of my house. I live in a subdivision. It's you know, it's not anything special. It's a nice subdivision. I live at the end of a cul-de-sac, and you know, and you know, there's no streets or anything. People pull straight into my cul-de-sac and park, right? For 20 years, people have been doing this. Well, we got a ticket. A guest of ours got a ticket for pulling straight into the cul-de-sac and parking there. And it was done at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. The ticket was written at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And the police officer didn't even come to our door and knock on the door. You know, he just wrote the ticket. There was no driver in the drive, and he just wrote driver, wheels away from curb, you know, paid fine. And that's basically what it said. You know,
what was he even doing around the neighborhood anyway?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm glad that they come around, but the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, why after 20 years, all of a sudden this becomes an issue? Maybe it's a new hire, maybe the guy got hired, maybe, you know, I don't know. That's not really what bothers me. What bothers me more than anything is that it was at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he could have walked up to the door, knocked on the door, and said, "Look, somebody out here, there's a new law, or I'm a new guy. Look, don't be doing this anymore. You know, and I got to write you up a ticket. Here's a ticket." I'd been perfectly fine with that. I wouldn't have freaked out. You know, but at 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, and that's what the same thing I think a compliance department, you know, needs to be. They need to be able to say, "Look, you screwed up here. You sent out this email. Don't do it again." You know, and look, we love what you're doing for the company. We want you to, you know, to really excel with the company. But it's beneficial for everybody that we follow these rules, so we can still have this company. No one's going to take it away from us. So we need you to start doing it this way. You know, this is how you should phrase it, because that will make you in compliance. Instead of look at section 1.8 follow 1.8.6 is bullshit. You can't do it that way. That's not how you do it. You tell them how it's wrong, and then you also tell them how to do it right. Show them how to do it right. That's what a decent compliance department or a timeout committee or timeout, whatever you want to call it. But don't call it compliance. Get off that compliance nonsense. Because you can time this downfall of Empower Network. I absolutely can guarantee you this. You can time this downfall turn of Empower Network to the time they got the compliance department. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, can the compliance department do more? My first bitch about the compliance department is, how come they didn't uncover the stuff on Big Treehouse? How can they let a guy that has that hanging over him, be one of the, launch one of the products? I understand the earning. He worked hard. He earned every dime of it. But you can't let a guy that has problems like that, run one of your products that you're selling. I mean, I would be all over my compliance department. I'd fire them all, probably, for causing this, because the compliance department is solely responsible for this. There is no one else responsible for this except for the compliance department. And it's ridiculous that happens. Anyway, enough of my soapbox. I look at Gary over there, and he's going to about get up his baseball bat like I did the other night, and knock me off my soapbox, But okay, let's get on to this overcoming adversity. More of this, and we'll be talking more about Empower. And we got a video to watch here if we have time to do it there. But Gary, let's hear your stories on overcoming adversity and in life and if you can tie it into Empower Network or what. But I know you've got some great war stories on overcoming compliance and some current ones also as well, I think.
Guys, I don't know, what the difference is with me and somebody else. I don't think it's a whole lot, but I never let anything win over me, and sometimes that's a tough statement, and it's been time tested. There's been a few times that I've just literally thought that I was gonna be, taken down or whatever, couldn't get it accomplished, couldn't get it done, and I've gone to bed with that feeling, and sometimes it's lasted several days, and for some reason with me, rest and a break from staring straight into the face of the problem is the best avenue that I've ever taken, because that gives me things just kind of pop into my head, solutions and answers pop into my head, and what to do and what step to take next, and has got me past a lot of these, and I've been flat slapped in the face with some big deals, that went sour, and how do you come out of this, and how do you overcome it, and even right down to simple things on a repair of something that is whipping you, and do I have to call in the expensive people to fix this? Take a break, take a step back from it, give yourself time to think through it, and let the your calmness take effect, because I see so many people that get themselves in such a pickle because they get into a rant or a rage. Folks, that's the worst thing that you can do. It's just going to bury you deeper. It's going to it's going to magnify the problem into a bigger problem, and there's no way you're going to beat it, because you won't step back, take a breath, take a break from it, walk back, go to bed, sleep on it, before you make some stupid decision that makes the entire problem worse. That's how I overcome, and I'm just talking from my own experience. That's how I've learned, and it's taken me most of my life to get to this point, to where nothing, and I mean pretty much nothing, has been able to get me. Now, knock on wood quick or something, but I've managed to figure a way around pretty much every adversity and problem that has presented itself to me by staying calm and working the logical way around it. There's always a solution if you're calm enough to see the solution. And get professional help when you need it. I'm talking about lawyers and accountants and bookkeepers and you know, especially if you march your butt into a court or a deposition, you know, have your ducks in a row and take your written documents. I once had a deposition that a company was suing me. I think it was $40,000 or something. And we went to this lawyer's office, and I took all my ammunition with me. And folks, by the time that I got done with that deposition, they had dropped it because I flipped it on them. Not only did I pay them their $40,000, or showed that I had paid their $40,000, but I'd overpaid it, and they owed me about $12,000 back. What do you think happened to that suit that they were dropping on me? It got dropped like a hot potato. That attorney was nothing but red-faced in there when I'm laying hard evidence on him that I paid this. Don't get me, you know, don't try to say this. You know, that's one thing that I really pride myself on in being taken to court on anything. I've never lost. Because I'll tell you what, if I was wrong, I'm going to be settling with those people, and it's never going to see a courtroom. It's that simple. But if I'm right, let's go, because I'll whoop your ass in the courtroom. So overcome these things and just don't give up. I find so many people, and this can go from simple little things to very, very complicated things, like Empower Network. There was some wrong, bad decisions made on the spur of the moment, you know, because I had to pop something out of my mouth right now. And that's why some of these things happen. And I love that deal with that Mike said about, you know, I'm to the point now that I can't do anything wrong. So when I'm going to do a few stupid things just to see. And Einstein's deal, you know, what's the deal of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. You know, but I believe that Empower's management has woken up now at this point, and we're not going to do anything stupid here for a little while. So that's, I hope some of that information helps, but this works on the littlest problems to the biggest problems. Take a breath. Don't pop something out of your mouth if you're not 100% sure and it's not thought through totally, you know, to where it's not going to get you in trouble type of thing and make your problem even magnified worse. Overcome those things. It's very easily done by taking a deep breath and stepping back. And think before you say. Richard, you've faced some awful big adversities in your life. Oh, he's not with us anymore. Where'd he go?
I'm here. I don't know.
Oh, not you. I was talking about Richard.
Right. I didn't notice he dropped off as well. You know, he was teeing up that iPass 2 video to watch. You know, he was teeing up that iPass 2 video to watch, and I think that may have messed with his bandwidth. Let me see if I haven't got a Skype message either. So
that's one of the things too, Mike, that breaks my heart about this whole Empower Network thing and overcoming these adversities is because we had such a golden, beautiful opportunity coming with iPass 2. That is, the guys have spent 4 years, you know, developing this, and they're very reputable, good guys, you know, that have built this product. And now to have it have to sit on the back burner until some of this nonsense burns off, if you know what I mean. I'm afraid they're not going to be able to launch the thing until after New Orleans, or maybe in New Orleans. But
well, you know, this video that of iPass 2 that, you know, if we don't catch it today, then, you know, I know there's Richard. Let's see if he gets back. We don't watch it tonight. You know, we'll watch it on Saturday morning.
Does he address that?
You know, it's interesting in not directly, but in between the lines, he does.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's a point of being, you know, wanting to have everything done and done right, you know, and accurate and be in compliance. You know, he does make a comment. He says we won't say and can't say the things, you know, that Vic said.
Right.
You know, and if you want to interpret it that way, then I can assure you it was meant to be that way. So, you know, you know, the issues that we have that they want to avoid. They want to avoid all this drama that's going on. And I think if Chris took a step back, you know, Chris Jones took a step back and looked at it and said, you know, we're so close to launching this. You know, let's put some pressure on the compliance department, you know, to get it ready and approved, you know, and that'll take and everybody will focus on iPass and growing Empower Network back to the, you know, all-in deal and everything else, because, you know, I'm afraid that, you know, they have to redo all these videos, right? And then when some bullshit happens, they got to go back and redo all the videos again. You know, and what's going to happen next? Some bullshit, and they're going to have to redo the videos again.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting the deal done and out there, you know, knowing that, you know, look, you know, if something happens, we'll redo the videos. But we shouldn't have to redo anything. You know? And stop changing stuff. You know, I understand you want to tweak it and you want to make it better, but look, you know, in life, you think the Ford Mustang is the same Ford Mustang they launched, you know, originally? Well, no. They got to change it. They got to modify it, and you know, every chance they get, and that's what iPass is going to have to do too.
Did you see
change and modify it? You know, every chance they get.
Did you see that 50-year Mustang? It's exactly the old ones.
Yeah.
That thing will be beautiful.
I just think, you know, I think that, you know, in politics, you know, you see, you know, how do you get people's mind off of something really big? Well, bring in something really bigger. You know, is the spin on it, and that's what I think they should do with you know, the iPass 2 is bring in something bigger like the iPass 2, so everybody just, you know, moves on from this Vic Streethouse, David Sharp,
That's
you know,
exactly
drama type nonsense. You know, that's how they should.
Exactly what's been dragging the launch down with iPass. I'll bet you, Mike, because every other week they're throwing out a new product, so it changes everything. How do you get all in now? Because you got a new product there. So yeah, you got to do new videos, and that's crazy. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, we'll see what happens, and you know, I don't know what, if anything, will, you know, be brought to the, you know, to the table or what, you know, regarding, you know, iPass, and I don't even know how they're actually going to do the launch, but you know, if you look in your back office of your iPass, you know, you see all the stuff there, you know, that's where it's going to happen. I think you're going to get notified. We're going to get notified, you know, first in our back office of our iPass system, you know, and say, okay, T-minus 2 days and 48 hours we're launching, you know, and they're not going to anticipate that's when we're going to launch. They're only going to announce it when it's already ready to launch, you know, and you know, and look at it that way. So.
Hey, Mike, I think New Orleans is setting up to be a real big event, not in so much attendance, but it's going to set the course. And it's going to be one of Wood's performances that's going to be second to none so far, because he knows it has to be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I do agree.
That's going to be the turning point of Power Network is New Orleans. I just wish it wasn't on Memorial Weekend. That's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, you got that? Can you tee that up, or you rather not mess with it? I know you're having some issues, so yeah. There he goes. He's back now. Well, we'll see. You know, I mean, it is Memorial Weekend, and Richard, if it's too much trouble, don't worry about it.
No, I clicked the wrong thing on that one.
Okay.
That was an oops on that. So.
I've been curious. This will be a good closer.
Yeah, let it rip.
Hello everyone, Chris Jones here, co-founder and co-creator of the iPass 2 business and marketing system. Now, I wanted to come to you today to give you an update of where we're at. Now, I know some of you are wondering, gosh, when are these guys going to launch this product? I'm anticipating this. I cannot wait for it. When are they going to do it? What's taking them so long? And I have to tell you right now that it's my utmost importance. It is my biggest mission with iPass is to create a good product. It's to create a product that actually does what we say it does. Okay? There's a difference between saying, okay, we're going to have this marketing system, we're going to hype it up, and we're going to get a bunch of people in, and if it doesn't work, we can try and fix it along the way, or if it doesn't work, hey, at least we made some money on the front end. People are going to go off and join and do other things anyway. I don't go in that with this mentality. I go in with the mentality of saying, hey, there's this company called Empower Network. They've got a product suite. They've got a comp plan. They've got a corporate staff doing what is necessary for that company to potentially become a multi-billion-dollar company. Do I believe they can do it? Yes, I do. I would not be here today. I wouldn't be standing behind the company if I didn't think so. I talk to them quite frequently, and I truly believe that they have the potential. But me as a marketer, I say, you know what would Chris Jones build in order to market that company for the long term? Okay, I could throw a page together, get some sales here, then recreate that, try to optimize Facebook ads, try to do this, try to do that. Okay, I got to spend $400 to make a $25 sale, really hope and push the phones and push my webinars to make that back-end sale. Yes, I can do all those things, but those don't interest me. What interests me is making the best product possible with iPass, which is the front-end system or the incubator that sells your Empower Network products in a way that can possibly, and I say possibly because it's never a guarantee, but possibly create a 100% success rate. It's never been done, guys. You got to look at the stats. The stats are this. Stats are 70+% of people make $0 in an online business. If you're starting a business, over 70% of the people that start one never make money. That's a proven fact. So we know that stat. So I see that stat as, how can we beat that? What can we do to put in place of, hey, instead of just doing what everybody else is doing, instead of just jumping around to the next pre-launch that's got the best tools, or the next pre-launch that's got the next wake up something. You guys, hey, it's America. We can do whatever we want. Everybody knows that I've been an affiliate marketer for years. That's how I've made a great living online. But in this point in time in my life, I'm more concerned about building something that can impact people in a way that does not have to do with moving company to company, genealogy to genealogy, product to product. Okay? At the end of the day, you have to have a strong company, a strong corporate staff, strong legal staff. You got to have good product. You got to have evolving infrastructures. Okay, these are all things that you need. You also need to have a way for the new guy to come in and win. The new guy has to come in and actually see a result from whatever minuscule action that they take, because we know new people don't take a lot of actions. It can be overwhelming. So as small as an action may be, what can we do to create a result, to create 100% success? And I say success as in, hey, you made a sale. I'm not saying that success that everybody's going to get rich tomorrow or everybody's going to make a ton of money. But I'm saying if a new person comes in and can make their first sale within 7 days, we win. We win because we accomplished something really huge, bigger than you guys believe. So that is why this is taking longer. It's my firm belief that we have the ability to do that. We have the best case scenario. And if there's other companies that come out, and I know there's been a bunch lately, I've seen it on Facebook, and a bunch of people go over there and say, hey, it's a pre-launch, I just made an extra. You guys do what you got to do to pay your bills. That's awesome. Okay? That's just not what I do. That's just not where I spend my time. My time is in product creation and creating things that help people, creating an infrastructure where somebody new can come in and win. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to stay with iPass forever, but if they can come in and win, change their financial situation, and go on to do other things and grow as an entrepreneur, we win. Okay? So that's why it's taking longer, guys. It's my biggest belief right now that we can change that. We can make a difference, and we can do something really great here. We're not reinventing the wheel. I certainly didn't invent the name Tripwire. I didn't invent the name Profit Maximizer, but we're using common industry knowledge and terminology right now to build a system that is somewhat done for you. Yes, there's certain things that we've built internally where the average person, like yourselves, don't have to go out and do that. So we eliminate some of those human errors, and we eliminate some of the factors of saying, hey, to really know how to run a business, you got to go get third-party tracking. You got to go to ClickMeter. You got to go do this and that to track your sales. If you had that all in one place, and you gave the new person one task, and it was their responsibility to do that one task, do you think the success rate would be higher? Absolutely. So what if we fix these small little toothpick-sized things? How does that add up to be a lot, right? So here at iPass, what we've been working on are things like the coaching system, and not only coaching for those of you that are iPass Black members, but developing a coaching system where those of you that aren't Black yet can actually benefit from learning how to be your own coach. Some people just want to do that, so we'll have a curriculum in there that teaches you how our coaches actually do the work. Now, I personally wouldn't want to do that, but there's some people that that's your cup of tea. So we're building that in there. We're building this really great dashboard. We're building this calculator and software into that. We have great presentations, and you guys, we've been changing around the core product presentations 50 times, okay? It's in order to really create the best message to be able to sell Empower Network. You know, I was talking to Lawrence Tam on Facebook, hope he doesn't mind I say this, and we were just chatting, and he's like, Chris, all I want to see is it work. That's all I want to see. He's like, I will push it to the moon, I will support whatever Empower does. I just want to see a system that works for once, okay? I said, Lawrence, believe me, it is my biggest interest to get this working for everybody. And, you know, and we were talking about, you know, everybody says that, hey, you know, it'll convert at whatever. He says, I would love, Chris, if we could just convert at 1%. If 1% of the people that went through iPass bought Empower Network, I'm all for it. And believe me, I'm looking to do a lot more than that. But, you know, hey, that's the kind of standard that's out there. There's not a whole lot of standards that are very good. So what we're trying to do and what we are accomplishing right now, and I'm telling you, we're doing some amazing things with these presentations, is taking different angles and working with what is compliant. You guys, I hate to tell you this, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is just not compliant, and it's not going to be around for very long. So it takes us a little bit longer to say, okay, we can't say that. We can't say things like Vic said. We can't say things that way like everybody else is doing because we're being stared at by compliance. We are going to be the first approved and compliant system in Empower Network. So yes, we have some limitations here, but you know what? It works. Okay, it works, and it'll work out to our benefit. All of you are sitting in a hot seat right now. So, anyways, just want to let you guys know we are on track right now. We're just putting together all the media. We're reshooting some videos to change some of the languaging around to make sure the FTC, the AGs, everybody is happy with how we're doing. Empower Network is happy. If everybody's happy, we're happy, and everybody's making money, right? It's not going to go anywhere. So we had to reshoot some things. We tested some variations and didn't like how they performed, so we changed them, and we loved how they performed. So no worries on that end. We are very, very close. Those of you that are leaders, some of you we're going to handpick. You'll be able to test it soon as we get it up. I don't mean soon as in tomorrow, but soon as the system is up and populated, believe me, I'll be getting in touch with you personally, and you'll have your links, and you'll be able to start stress testing this, and then right shortly after that, maybe a week or so, the rest of you will get your hands on, okay? Obviously, we have to finish going through compliance with Empower Network, so that's just part of the game here, guys. I can tell you I apologize for the wait, but I'm telling you it is worth it. It is all in your best interest that we do this right out of the gate, especially now that we've waited a while to actually release this because we wanted to make it right, that it is right out of the gate. So believe me, I'm working around the clock. I need a vacation just like anybody else. So I can't wait until this is done. But more importantly, you guys, I can't wait until we launch this thing. I can't wait until we have our contest giving away cash prizes and all kinds of cool stuff. I can't wait until I see you guys just slamming through tripwires. You guys making Empower Network sales and coaches doing their job and hiring new coaches. Believe me, I'm super excited. Okay, we are really, really close. So with that, I just want to shoot this quick video. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're excited. I hope you're all doing what you have to do right now to prepare yourself for the launch. Ask yourself once again, what do you do today that's going to help you excel tomorrow when you know what's coming out? Okay, so with that, this is Chris. Love you all. can't wait to see you on the inside, and believe me, you're going to start seeing some stuff come out here really shortly that will make you scratch your head and say, wow, these guys did do their homework on it. So that was Chris. We'll see you.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, Richard, yeah, just shut the, mute that. It's all. There's nothing more on it at all. So that pretty much tells the story. I mean, he was pretty, transparent. I mean, and really, in what the situation is, and trying to make it work. So, we just still have to continue to sit and wait until we're ready. Like we've been talking about. I hope he pulls the trigger soon, and everybody can start talking about iPass 2 instead of Vic and Sharp and and problems. Make this a positive, and let's continue with the positives. Down that road. So, any closing comments before we shut this thing down, Gary, Richard?
Yeah, that is exactly what this hangout was all about, folks. iPass 2 is overcoming adversities that keep popping up, and they're not going to release this thing until it's correct. And so they take a step back, and it's exactly what Chris just said, and they're getting it right before it even launches. They're not going to launch a half-assed product that's not compliant, and some of these things with Vic, now they're going to make sure that they're not going to make those same mistakes. And did you see that little disclaimer that started playing when Chris was done talking? That started, this was addressing the FTC, and so that's great. But those are going to be in there prior to it launching, and they're overcoming the adversities that are in iPass before it even gets out there to the market. So that's a great deal. And Power Network is overcoming theirs. I'm overcoming mine, which are nothing compared to some of theirs, but some of mine are fairly large that are coming up. It's got my wife scared to death, and she doesn't even want to go into the deposition, but she has to. And I hope we don't have to end up taking her out on a gurney. The poor lady, she just can't handle, pressure on the spot like that. But folks, there's always a way, and that's what it is, with I hope it doesn't, give a bad light to anybody. Oh, I don't know about this company. They got too many problems. No, it's any business that makes this kind of money is going to have things popping up out of the woodwork, guaranteed. The number or the message there is yes, we are making a lot of money, and yes, it will be overcome. And on our little disclaimer that we like to throw in there, we can't guarantee that you'll make any money because we don't know you'll do any work. There are things that you have to do, and if you don't do them, it's going to be pretty hard. But iPass 2 is going to make it a heck of a lot simpler. if you don't want to do a whole lot of work, hang in there, because your savior's coming in iPass 2.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. When you're talking of adversity and then you're talking about Monica Lewinsky, here's a great quote for you guys. That our former chief of staff said, and I'm sure he said this after Monica Lewinsky, if you live long enough, you'll make mistakes, but if you learn from them, you'll be a better person. It's how you handle adversity, not how it affects you. The main thing is never quit, never quit, never quit, never confess.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And we live the lifestyle, and we like, and working from home, and in Power Network, and there are disclaimers below right here, and as well as these buttons, to sign up and join tonight if you want to, and it's only $25 to join. So you can't beat that to start your own new small business and be part of the group of us, and hopefully get on this leadership council, Team Certainty, and contribute. Because that's all it takes to be up here is just to contribute. So Okay, Gary, Mr. Iron Dane Richards, thank you. It's the top of the hour. I'm going to shut it down now, and you guys enjoy your week, and thank you, viewers, again for tuning in tonight, or whatever time you might be watching this. If you're watching this live or watching this on a replay, we do these Google Hangouts twice a week. We do them this time period from 8 to 9 p.m. Central Time, and then also from Saturday mornings, from 11 to 11:30 Central Time, USA time, and that's for questions and answer period. So we'll say good night to you. Enjoy your rest of your evening, and we'll see you Saturday morning, 11 to 11:30. And again, thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. See everybody next week. Take care, everyone.
Okay, take care. Hey, everybody, work from home. You'll love the commute.
Yeah.